say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. I'm your host, Jeff J., joined by Chrissy Bree, and we are here to review the Season 4 finale. Season 4, Episode 10, You Can't Fix This. Chrissy, what's going on?
What's good, man?
Nothing much. Just getting this recap wrapped up and putting a bow on another season of Power After Hours and another season of Power. So
part of me didn't want to record because that means we're coming to an end here.
Right. It's another one in the books, right? But we were talking about it offline before. I didn't even realize that they pushed this a week ahead.
Yeah, like what the hell? Like how do you not make an announcement that you're planning on not showing your finale the week after the last? Like, that doesn't make any sense. They didn't say anything.
So they didn't make an announcement.
I didn't see anything because literally everybody was like, yo, what's going on? Like, what? It was like the day of when people realized they couldn't watch it at midnight because, you know, everybody was like, I'm going to watch it before at midnight because Game of Thrones, everyone was planning on watching Game of Thrones. Let's just put it that way. So everyone was like, I'm going to watch it at midnight when it premieres. And I saw my whole timeline erupt when it was not there at midnight. They were just like upset. So if they made an announcement, nobody heard it.
I had to go back.
After the episode.
Right. I had to go back and look and wonder for myself. Wonder for myself. Did I miss something? Did I fast forward? Did I skip? Because they said next episode and went into the whole preview for the finale. And I saw the same reaction on the timeline. Everybody asking, yo, why didn't Power hit yet? I don't have it. I'm on the app and it's not here. And I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people, they do on demand. And depending on your provider, on demand doesn't hit until West Coast time. So if you're on the East Coast, it won't hit until 3 a.m. So I hit a couple of people and just said, well, you might have to wait if you're not on demand. You got to go into the app because I had to cover the Mayweather-McGregor fight. So I was planning on watching it later anyway. Nah, it's really, that's just work. But I was planning on watching it after the fight regardless. But I just saw more and more while trying to dodge whatever spoilers were going to come out while I had to be on Twitter covering this joint. And more and more, I just kept seeing people, where the hell is Power? Where the hell is Power? Especially after the fight.
Yeah.
People were like, yo, Power still ain't here. Then everybody started searching. And you slowly saw the news that it's scheduled for September 3rd. And it took me aback.
Why wouldn't they? I just don't understand why. At what point you knew this whole time you were going to be going up against the Game of Thrones season finale? You knew. And I'm wondering, did they look at the numbers?
Did they look at the numbers and what? Sorry, Chris, you timed out.
I'm sorry. I was wondering, did they look at the numbers and realize, maybe we can't compete, so we should just... But I'm like, you would have known that all season. Your numbers shown that Game of Thrones outdoes you every week. There's no way you were ever going to go into it beating them. But why not make that announcement after the episode? Like, hey, we're not going to, we're going to wait a week for the finale. Don't expect it next week. But they didn't do that. They said on the next episode, on the season finale of Power. There was no inkling no one knew that shit wasn't coming on the following week. That's all I'm saying. No one knew because you would have seen people get upset after the episode, like, yo, we got to wait a week. And we would have talked about it on the podcast.
Well, they told you the season finale was coming. They just didn't tell you when.
They didn't say when. Maybe that's our fault for assuming.
Right.
We made assumptions.
But I think they could have pushed an episode a week ahead, maybe take a 2-week break. And then, because what I would have probably done, if they were going to plan on doing that anyway, the first episode I would have skipped would have been, I think, episode 4, because episode 4 went up against the season premiere of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So I would have skipped that week and then kept going so that the finale would fall where episode 9 would. And then
Oh, so you're basically saying so that you're not missing a week waiting for the finale. Is
right,
what you're saying. So,
right.
okay,
That
I
way
see.
you just skip so you could quote unquote skip a random week and then go. Or I would have started the season a week later, because even that week that they started, they went up against BET Awards. They went up against a few. There was a few other things going on that Sunday that was wild, cluttered with events. So I would have started the week after and then just rolled into the whole season, because I don't think they're really focused on the live ratings as much as live plus DVR plus app viewers, because they've already adopted new metrics to determine the success of the show. They're not beholden to live watching as much anymore. They promote it, but that's not going to make or break their idea of what success is. Now it encompasses all the ways the viewership watches power, which is where we're going in terms of ratings and viewership, in terms of quantifying that. So I think as long as they see the app moving, that's really what matters. But even in that sense, I would have modified it that way, because I legit was bugging, thinking, yo, I must have missed it. Like, how the hell did we miss that they were going to push it 2 weeks? That was the most quietest
man
bump of a week ever. Like, yeah, guys, see you September 3rd.
And after such a pivotal episode, that's
right.
The thing. Like, you let Raina get shot, and we knew she was dead.
Right.
Let's wait a whole. There's a thing called building suspense, and there's just being a jackass, and that was just a jackass move. Like, you don't do that. You just don't do that.
Right.
I was pissed.
But yeah, that murder was apparently so strong it made the series skip a week. So who knows?
Maybe she rested.
But
maybe they needed a week for her funeral. Apparently, like, what the fuck?
Her funeral and her concert in heaven. You saw that video of her
don't do it.
kicking the rap?
Don't do it. Don't do
Lit
it.
as heaven, yo.
Raina was getting it
right. But yeah, let's get into the episode. That death reverberated throughout the entire episode, and you saw these characters react to it. What did you think?
Oh boy, I knew going into the episode that they kind of had to start with what happened with Raina. I was confused though. I would assume that you would maybe show a funeral, like, I don't know, maybe show that she is really deceased. Like, we really, if it wasn't for everyone dressed in black, how would we know? You know what I mean? Like, there was no funeral. Like, there was talks of a funeral, but no funeral actually took place. It was just a little bit confusing on that, and I guess maybe they didn't have room to really fit that into the episode. But starting it off, I was like, yo, why are all these people in their house? Is that what happens? Is that what happens when somebody passes away? Because if that's the case, don't come to my house. Like, that is crazy. Like, the house was full, Jeff. Like, it was like 50 deep, like a club in that joint. Why would you want people in your house like that?
Were they pre-gaming before the funeral?
Bro, they had food. They had everything. They had food. They had snacks. It was lit. And Raina's dead.
Yeah, that's like the repast. But I know a lot of people were talking about it before. I know a bunch of group chats I'm in talking about Power. They had mentioned that, like, how the hell is all those people in the house? Now, I will say, usually I've found that when you immediately hear, especially when it's a tragedy, when somebody passes, you may have a bunch of people come to visit you or come to console you. Like, I know one of my boys, when he passed away, a bunch of people went over to the house and to console his family and everything like that. And it became like a pretty large situation. But, you know, people coming in, expressing their condolences,
right,
and doing that. But that scene looked like a repass. It looked like after the funeral, everybody's in the house talking, reminiscing, true. And it just happened within 24 to 48 hours. and all
Not
these
even
people were in the
48,
house.
bruh, because they came from the police station. He was
Right.
still giving his like statement. So that literally, I don't even think 24 hours had passed. I think that was the next morning, legit.
Yeah, that whole that whole opening scene, I had a major issue with it, and it's one of the critiques that I have of the season
Hmm.
as a whole. The way the characters emote is very inconsistent.
Mm.
Your daughter just got murdered, and the you're already at the police station, sitting down, wondering what it is that you can do. I actually like Tariq in that situation where
Hmm.
he's getting questioned and questioned, and then he starts crying like, "Yo, I don't know. If I knew, I would have told you. My sister just got killed." Like he
Yeah.
basically breaks down, and he shows that emotion that I wish Ghost and Tasha showed. And I realize everybody handles grief differently, but for the sake of the show, you got to show the initial impact. And I
Why
feel
didn't you
like
show
the
the
way
cops showing up to get Tariq? Like,
right,
why didn't you show his family arriving to see him in that devastated state of losing? This isn't just his sister. This is his twin. That's like losing your other half. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
that's what I've heard, at least from twins. Like, you just never get over that feeling. So why not show that? Why not give us more? And I understand he's in the precinct giving his statement because that's what you have to do after, somebody dies and you witness the death. That's what you have to go through. That I understand.
hmm,
But why not show his parents arriving to him? Let me see some more
yeah. What'd you say, Chrissy?
funeral. You know what I mean? Give us more emotion, especially if you're not going to give us a funeral.
Right. Or how about show Ghost and Tasha getting that call?
Yes.
My what I would have liked to see, and this type of trope has been used before in TV, but do it in your own power way. It
Yeah.
could have been that silent, Tasha picks up the phone. Oh my God, you just see emotion. She tells Ghost, they stop. A cup drops and breaks on the floor, or
Yes.
he has to pull over to the side of the road. You see Tariq still over the body. You see Tasha and Ghost come to console him. You see Keisha get the call. Because
Yeah,
Keisha
give
was in
us
the
that.
house. Keisha was in the house. So clearly she knew, and they let everybody in. You have to see how everybody is impacted by it initially before we go into the police station. That would have made it resonate for me better than what it did. Because I get it. Even after if they were in the police station and they're seen in the car where Tasha tells him, "You can't fix this. Our baby's dead. You can't fix this." And he's showing that anger, like, I'm going to
That
get
was a good
whoever it is.
scene.
That was
Yeah.
good, but that was post everything else. So if you add that initial reaction to it, I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess
I
how they
don't want
felt. I
that.
want to see how they felt.
Especially not for such a pivotal. This is a child that died. You understand what I'm saying? This isn't like, it's not like Julio. It's not a Dre. This is a child who has been in there since the beginning. She is the twin sister of Tariq, and they could have done more. I didn't like the fact that the initial thing that we're seeing is really them walking into the house, and then you see Keisha walking up like she's already in her garb.
Mm.
Like, if somebody dies, like, I'm running to your house in whatever I have on. You feel me? Like, I'm not getting dressed and doing my makeup and putting on the black head wrap. And you know what I mean? Like, she looked like she just came from the funeral, B. Everybody was dressed up in that joint.
They were
Everybody.
already in all black. I'm like, fam, you come in what you have.
No one does that.
That was pretty
No one
extra.
does
That was pretty extra. It goes to a problem that the series has had with these kids. If we keep it real, the kids haven't been important until maybe season 3.
That's true.
For real, those kids haven't mattered until last season. The most
Also,
the
Yasmin has not mattered until this episode because
well
she
no
literally got her speaking moment. But
remember when she choked
whatever.
on the toy as a baby
Oh yeah, yeah,
because of
yeah. That was
Angela. That
wild.
whole thing, that was a big connection. That was
Yeah,
a
that was
big connection. So Yasmin,
that poor
Yasmin as
girl.
a baby has had more of an impact on the series prior to that season, to last season, than the grown ass
I have
twin
never.
kids.
I was like, yo, we really got her first speaking moment in season 4.
Yo.
How did they wait so long to let that girl speak? How?
Well, I mean, she's like 4 now, so
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I
I
get
felt
it,
bad for
but
her.
she
I was
she
like,
she about to
oh.
take Raina's spot.
Yeah, she is. You got to give somebody the speaking points. It's gonna have to be her.
They gonna make it like little Nikki. Next season she gonna be 8, 9. fully
Came
fuck,
back downstairs.
fully formed child. Fully formed child talking like a grown ass person. You're like,
And Tariq will still be the same age.
who's this? This is little Yasmin. And she's like 10.
Right there, that little girl, man. Where did she come from?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it was good to see her like get some time though. That was good.
yeah, but that's just just that whole opening scene and the emotion that they were showing. That was just a bigger issue. Just even when Ghost saw Kanan, that reaction, you got to direct them to really show the impact. This is somebody who, in your mind, literally rose from the dead and is back, and you see him, and it's just like, oh, what's up, my G? Where you been, boy? I thought you was burnt.
Let me get you a drink.
You walked through that fire like Khaleesi? Let me find out. Like, come on, dog. Like, you could see shock, but it wasn't like, oh shit. Like how we would have reacted. If I see somebody who I thought was dead and I thought I killed them and they rolled up on me, oh, my reaction would be priceless. Because
I'm about to fall back.
it would go from shock to fear to anxiety to an overall sense of my morality where I know this is it.
Yeah, I would think I was going to die.
Right.
If you tried to kill me and you didn't do it, you didn't succeed, I'm going to kill you.
Right. Right.
So I would feel like I'm about to die. There just hasn't been enough depth. I think that's the overall sense of what we're getting at here. There hasn't been enough depth or showing of emotion in this season. Like, I just don't understand how you have such a big a moment happen and no, like, we got more of a reaction from Tommy when Julio died. You feel me? Like,
right.
It's just weird. It's weird.
No, it goes into acting also, right?
That's
Maybe
true
that's
too.
where Joe Sikora's strong point is showing that emotion and doing that. And some people may need to get produced or directed up to do that, and some others just have it naturally. The other thing is these deaths, the level of the sense of urgency that you feel from these deaths doesn't match the characters' reactions.
That's true.
We don't need everybody to die for them to finally break and show us, hey, these deaths matter. But you lost 2 season 1 characters that's been around this entire time. I can understand Julio a little bit more because the game is the game.
Yeah, that's true.
The game is the game, so
him much,
you know you're not going to be around forever, but at least anger, if anything. Anger, it's like sadness and a lot of anger. Like Ghost handled it like business. And this is a dude that you saved from what was it? The Toros Locos. You got him out of that gang. You paid for his life. And he's dead. And he's dead indirectly because of you. Because you got out the game. So I would expect a little bit more in that regard. But,
I think the reason Julio's kind of went to the side is because so much shit was happening at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got Tommy who's meeting his father. You've got Dre who's playing the game really, really well up until this final episode. Like, he really was... He had a way of maneuvering around to make you believe that things weren't really what they seemed. So I can kind of understand Julio because Ghost got his own shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, he's got trying to deal with Tasha and the kids. He's also got Tariq, who's fucking crazy. He's gonna Simon Stern. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that are happening where I can understand why Julio's death was not as prominent. Now, I do think that we are gonna get more reaction for Julio's death next season.
Okay.
I do. I think you don't have a choice now, right? With everything that's happening with Dre, you kind of have to get revenge for what he's done.
Well, the biggest thing about this episode is the fact that everybody's finding out that Dre has been behind everything since the beginning of the season. Slowly, all of those ties are going back to Dre. From when Ghost and Tommy had to press Uriel to find out who killed Raina, thinking it was them, or thinking it was the Jimenez, and they indirectly get the news that Dre set up Julio. And it's hilarious how he offered that information thinking it was going to save him after he got stapled to a chair.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, fuck it. If I'm going to go, I'm snitching. I'm bringing everybody down with me.
Everybody's going down.
Everybody got to go. So he let him know about Dre, that he set him up with Cristobal. And that was the Julio death and how he killed Julio. So he was going to go one way or another. So he figured he was going to take Dre down with him. So that,
and I love Tommy in that moment because
right,
we go kills him. Tommy's like, yo. He's like, what's wrong with you? Like, I gotta get more information. And Ghost is like, yo, Raina died. Like, can we look at the bigger picture here for a second? It's not about Julio. And the more things that started adding up, that's when Ghost started realizing, yo, Dre is a problem. You know, like he keeps hearing Dre's name. So now it's like you should have maybe pressed him for more information. But he heard all he needed to hear. At the end of the day, Dre is now on their radar. The problem now is, though, Dre is not just Dre anymore.
Right. And I like the way that the shoe is on the other foot now, with Ghost being the irrational murderer and Tommy being the voice of reason. Because if you think to season 1, when Tommy would torture people and kill them, and Ghost is looking at him like, yo, we could have got more information. What are you doing? And he's just like, yo, it is what it is. We know what we know now. Let's go act on it. And now, that was all the way in season 1, where he tortured the dude because he thought that my man, the chubby Puerto Rican dude, not Anibal. I forgot his name, but
dang, and you said his name a couple of episodes ago. You said it because we were talking about him, but I can't remember it.
But but he was but when they thought that he was originally setting him up, and he killed him off, and this was like, because I randomly saw an episode of season 1 on TV, and that was the episode. So to see Tommy now be in a situation where someone is acting irrationally and kill somebody when they could have got more information, I just think it's funny. He doesn't realize the irony in that.
Yes, it's so funny. Like, there's so many different, like, I feel like it's crazy to say this because this entire season I've just been applauding, Joseph Sikora for his acting, but Tommy's character and all, I feel like in a weird way he is the main. Does it feel like that to you? Like he's the main character? Like he's gone through so much. Like now we're seeing the depth of him having his father in his life and how he can utilize his father and his father's people. And I've just seen such growth in his character, more than I've seen from, Jamie or Tasha. I think we've really seen more elevation from Tommy. That's just me, though.
He may not be the lead character, but he's the most compelling to me.
Yes.
By far. He's the one that's gone through something real every single season that's changed his whole dynamic, from being being Ghost's right-hand man and being the distro, to being put in a position where he could lead the org and split off with Ghost, to the whole situation with Holly. He's messing with whoever, then he has Holly, and then he kills Holly, to being in a position where he may have to kill Ghost, to getting over that So going through that, siding with Ghost, and then getting everything that he wanted and still being in a position where he's messed up. Then you throw this whole new family at him, along with his old family and everything else going on, and him trying to keep it together, dealing with a new connect. Having Lobos at one point breathing down his neck to kill Ghost. Like he's gone through so much change in the 4 seasons. To me, he's the most compelling character.
I absolutely 100% agree with you there. That was a good way of breaking it down. I should just use you for character breakdowns from here on out.
I'll be the character analysis expert on
You
on
did
power.
good, and you did it without breaking a sweat. Good job, Jeff.
I mean, that was a little bit of a dab on my forehead, but yeah, but
Can
that's.
you believe we lost another character in this finale, though?
Ooh, Father Callahan.
Yeah, I was like, not the Padre.
Listen.
Oh, I didn't want it to be Padre, yo. I was like, come on. You killed a man of the cloth. Now you really got to die. You really have to die now.
You know, he probably would have been good if all he was doing was touching boys, because you don't get that retribution, right? I'm just saying. And then speaking as a Catholic myself, it's just funny that that's what, it's like you do all this other stuff and you slide by, but God forbid you enter a drug cartel. A few eggs are gonna break in that omelet. Right. But but you could tell Father Callahan was just about his money, like most religious people, or a lot of religious people, was just about his money and get it however he's gonna get it. And he always had a religious justification for it. To think this is a dude who's pushing poison in the community, but chastises Tommy for cursing in the confessional booth, because it's about etiquette.
So funny.
It's all about etiquette. And it's funny how we'll have that in our life, where people will live a different life than what they preach, but they still believe in the etiquette of what it is. It's, treat people with respect, but get your money.
Anyway, you know how I get it.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. And Tommy's face when he knew he had cursed was like, it's so funny. I love their interactions. Him and Padre, that scene of them in the church was just so funny to me, the way that they're bantering back and forth. And I just really like those scenes. And to know we're not going to get it anymore is pretty sad.
Right.
So, he's R.I.P. Padre.
In the confessional talking about that fast ass motherfucker. He's like, Tommy, he's like, sorry, this guy that fucks mothers, Dre.
And that's sad, because what pisses me off is that was the one mistake Tommy made. He shouldn't have told Padre about that, because now you have a situation where Padre has given Dre the one up. They don't know that Dre knows they know. You feel me?
Right.
They don't know that.
Right.
They may know now when they see Padre. They may.
Which is why he had to go, so that he couldn't go back and never tell Tommy, like, hey, I let Dre know that I'm out because he killed Julio and I'm not really about that smoke. So that's why
he may know
Dre
when
killed
Padre turns up dead. He may know it was Dre. He may.
Well, at one point, they're going to have to put 2 and 2 together, but we don't know how involved they're going to be in the org, because all those Primeras left Tommy to work under Dre and with the Jimenez as a connect. So the whole Serbian connect has the bottoms fell out on that. So now that's one of the things for next season that Tommy's going to have to deal with, is dealing with Mitic and the Serbs, and the fact that now they have no Primeras and no distro in their organization. Their organization is basically just Tommy now.
That's true.
So how is that going to be handled? There's going to be a war on multiple fronts in season 5. And that's just one aspect that a lot of people may have overlooked because of everything that's happening, because the Jimenez are a distro, are a connect themselves. So now that they're all going through Dre, you leave this other connect out. How are they going to respond?
It's going to be, to me, I think that the only way you fix things and get on, I'm talking about on the Tommy side, you have to figure out how to get the Jimenez to turn on Dre. And see, because Dre is offering the hotels, he's doing all these things, all these side business deals. At some point, they will come back to bite him in the ass. But I think the only way they get out of it is finding a way to get the Jimenez to turn on him.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to.
And they're not easily persuaded.
Right. So, and the way the way that Tommy finds out about, because once they find out about Dre and he goes and rolls on him, he sees that Ray Ray is talking to Dre and just sees that it's a cop. So that's why he falls back. And then you get the whole Ray Ray situation, how everybody's coming for Ray Ray in their own ways, how we all converge on this information that Ray Ray is the one who killed Raina, and all the main characters finding out at once. What did you think about that?
I thought that was actually really interesting. I think the most pivotal scene for me was watching them all trying to get to Ray Ray, right? Because I was so concerned. I was like, who's going to get there first? Who is going to take the shot? Like, what is going to happen? I love the way that scene was actually shot, and thinking about what you said earlier about how you wanted them to show the reaction to Raina being killed. If they had taken that scene and used it for Raina, it would have been perfect, because you're showing everyone silently arriving and seeing how they're going to save Tariq. Ghost knows Tariq is going. Tommy's just trying to follow Ghost. Tasha is just trying to get there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different things that are happening in that scene. And Ray Ray knows his time is going to be up eventually. He's got the world against him at this point. You should have never killed Ghost's daughter, because it's not just about Ghost. You've got people that protect Ghost that are going to have to handle you as well. So I really appreciated the way that they did that scene. I did I want Tariq to take the shot though? I'm still torn about that scene, to be honest. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like everyone was like, Tariq finally did the right thing, but did he? You know what I mean? Like, did he? He's still a kid, and he's seen a lot. And I just wish that somebody could have got there to save him from pulling the trigger. I would have rather seen Ghost pull the trigger, because that's going to affect him more in the long run.
Yeah, I can understand why they had Tariq kill him, because now that was his initiation into the family business. This was the wolf or the bear that he had to kill as a child to become a man in the group. So now the power that's, well, I'll come back to that in a second, but I like the way that everybody found out. So you had Tommy found out because of Kanan.
Yes.
Because Kanan rolls up on him while he's going to go meet his, while he's trying to find out the rules of engagement for meeting the Italian. And he sounds like a dude who all he did watch mobster movies, and he's trying to figure out what's the proper way to say what's up. He's like, yo, is there a handshake? Is there like what am I supposed to do? And they're like, yo, relax. It's cool. And Kanan confronts him about the dudes that got sent to kill him. Yeah. And then he figures out that those dudes are Tainos who are Cristobal, and Dre are cool with them. So he was like, "Oh, word, Dre's involved. All right, I'm gonna take care of him." You know what I'm saying? So Kanan was the link to them finding out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because after he does his research and he's getting his crew to roll, because he's organizing his own crew to roll on Dre when he gets that call from Tariq asking him about Ray Ray, just randomly asking him about Ray Ray. And he's like, yo, I don't know where he is. You know, why you wanna meet him? He's like, are you still hitting licks? Like, he's asking him all the questions. And then when he finds out from his crew that Raina got killed, because at that point he still didn't know Raina was killed. So when he finds that out, he's kind of like, all right, Tariq's asking me about him. His sister got killed. 2 + 2 = 4. So that's when he called that. So Tommy finding out from Kanan was kind of ill, but I had a little bit of a issue with that interaction also, because after everything that happened with Kanan and Ghost and that whole, he extorted Tommy. He saved, he did save Tariq, but he extorted Tommy. He killed one of Tommy's people. Tommy hasn't seen him since his resurgence. And then he rolls up on him in a car, on him with the Italians. And he tells them to go inside. Like, really? Like, you were that comfortable with him that you felt like you could have that conversation and not get killed, especially that Kanan's rolling up on him
Not
to
me.
find out who put the hit out on him. And, you know, they having that
Yes.
conversation, and it's like Tommy saying, like, yo, you saved Tariq, so you're always good with me. That don't mean he's good with you, you know?
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
That don't mean he's good with you. That don't mean he's good with you. Like, you had a lot of like a rational confidence, and I guess that's Tommy to a nutshell. But it was just a lot of irrational confidence, and just overall, another big issue that I could say that I've had with this season is Kanan is the most forgiving gangster I've ever met in my life.
Amen.
He is the most forgiving. Yo, they sent you to jail.
Yep.
Ghost stabbed you up and damn near killed you. They took the organization that was rightfully yours. Ghost damn near made your son his surrogate. And brought him along to his ways. All of these things that happened, and you're willing to put that aside because you made a connection with Tariq. So now everything is good. Like, everything is cool. Like, you bygones are bygones now. After the whole first 2 seasons was him plotting his revenge and continuing to plot and having 10 years of vengeance in your heart.
Yep.
And it goes away like that easily. Like, we'll talk about the end or whatever, but that's just one of the major issues that I have with his character.
He's not the same Kanan that we know from this is not the same Kanan that killed his son. You feel me? Like, this is not the same guy. And we don't know how he got to be so soft either. Like, was it dealing with Jukebox? Like, what was it? Like, because if you look at it, I looked at Jukebox the way that they made Kanan out to be in the first season. They made Kanan out to be something like ruthless. I don't give a fuck about you or what you saying. I will kill you, whatever. To now him being like, okay, yeah, we cool. I guess maybe they see that they have a bigger fish to fry in Dre. Dre now sent somebody to kill him in real time. Like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is not the same guy that we saw in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm all for character evolution, but it's like,
yeah, but give us the evolution.
Yeah. he skipped a few evolutionary points in my mind. I mean, I get it. The lean, him getting built back, his relationship with Tariq, but we were made to believe that relationship was a means to the end, and the end being Ghost. Because the original plan was to kill Tariq, kill Ghost, and extort him.
Yep.
And now, you know, it's you roll on Tommy because you think after all of that they still sent Hitman for you, and you're good after his explanation. You even let him explain. Kanan let him explain. Like, you know, Kanan does give me old school supervillain vibes at times, where he wants to tell you his plan before he kills you. But I don't know. That just bugged me a little bit. But
I agree with you there. It's just, it wasn't enough. I guess if you're gonna develop a character like Tommy, you know, if you did so well developing him, why can't you do that with everybody else? Like, give us more into Kanan. Like, you want us to believe Kanan is some hardcore hitman, you know, the same guy that threatened to kill Dre's daughter. You know, that scene when he was holding the daughter and Dre's fear that he had in his eyes, and the only thing we hear from Kanan in this episode was, well, if he's smart like me, he would have moved his family. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even try to go after him. It wasn't enough for me.
I hear that. But building that link to Ray Ray, where Kanan puts 2 and 2 together, calls Tommy, and Tommy lets him know, you know, because Tommy realizes that cop that I saw talk to Dre, that had to be Ray Ray. And they let him know where he stays. So in turn, he let Ghost. And then the whole Angela-Tasha dynamic, where Tasha finds out that Tariq left the house, finds out that Tariq took her gun, you know, finds out from Tommy that it was Ray Ray. They found the dude, and it was and tells her everything. So she puts 2 and 2 together, and then ultimately has to go to Angela for help on finding Tariq. And let me shout out my dude Cousin D, because he did in one of my groups, he did accurately predict that Tariq was going to somehow use that gun was somehow going to be used to kill somebody, and it was going to be by Tariq's hand. So salute to him. He definitely pointed that out, and he made sure to remind me a lot of times to give him the credit that he deserved. So, shout out to you. You definitely caught that one. You still nitpicking motherfucker, but you caught that one. But yeah, what did you think of that scene where Angela, with that whole scene with Tasha and Angela, where they come together to find Tariq, or at least pinpoint where he is?
I think it was inevitable that those two have to come together, right? I mean, you've got Angela, who's now in this position of power, but at the same time, you're still connected to her in a way, in her weakness. So if you need, I thought she was going to go to Silver. That's where I thought she was going. I didn't know. When I saw her, Angela open the door, I was like, oh shit, like, okay, bitch. Like, oh, I guess you got to do what you got to do. But she has the capabilities to track someone. Because she remembers what, Angela did to Ghost when Angela cloned his phone and was using that against him. So now you have to have her use her illegal connects to do for you what you need done. I really think that those two are going to end up connecting a little bit more. We're going to see more of a Tasha Angela more so than an Angela Ghost, if that makes any sense. I just feel like now a child has been lost, and it changes things. It changes your perspective. It changes the way you move, how you speak. I think Tasha is going to be a little bit more receptive to what Angie has to say. But I also think Angie is going to have to come at Tasha in a way that's not going to be friendly, because now we know Tasha is the one who's going to take the fall for what's happened. So it's just a lot of different moving pieces. I'd like that scene between them because it gave us a chance to see them interact together, where we've only seen them really yelling and being combative. This was Tasha at her weakest. She's already lost one kid. She doesn't want to lose another. It was fear. And in fear, you're going to do anything to protect your child. So I saw that in both of them. And I just really, that scene was just really good to me because you got to see that interaction.
And I love how they put two and two, like how Angela was like, when she found out, he's like, no, he's missing, and she's just like, is Ghost going to kill? Right. Basically like, yo, is he going to go find this person? And she even meets up with him outside and is giving him that talk like, yo, we can do it the right way. But if you do it and you get caught, I cannot save you. Because she once again, she's one of the most principled people. Even when she's messing up, she's still, because that's all she has left is her principles. So now that she has this position, she ain't going to mess it up twice. So she's letting them know, yo, I'm not going to blow you up, but if you lead me there, we're taking it all the way. We're taking it all the way, and you're going to get the death penalty. That's just what's going to happen. Because at the end of the day, Ray Ray's a dirty cop, but he's still a cop, and he's a Fed. He was an undercover, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so because that was his undercover pad, I believe. Right. He was an undercover cop. So yeah, it was about to get real spooky for Ghost if he got caught by Angela, and Angela was still, and you could tell she had that sense of ownership in the situation too, because she felt compelled to help Tasha because she has a connection with the kids and with Ghost. Some part of her still loves Ghost, and in turn loves the family and loves them so much that she's like, yo, you know what? Let's find the kid. I'm gonna hold you down. I'm gonna help you out. Because I think they look at each other and they see two women that got put in a situation by Ghost. But now we here. Now we here, and we gotta worry
Go
about.
after the man.
Right. Like, yeah, it's just, that's just the coming to you as a woman part of the show, where they come to you as a woman, and now they're figuring it out. But yeah, so I did like that scene because it was one of those real. Yo, we have our differences, all this stuff happened, but I need your help. Because that took a lot from Tasha. Like, Tasha supremely humbled herself. Like, this is the same woman who was clowning Ghost for even trying to go legit, and wouldn't let her pride see a better life. And now she would swallow all of that to help her husband's mistress, or to get help from her husband's mistress to save her child. And that's one thing with a mother, they'll put the child over anything, including their own pride. Right. At least you would hope, any parent would do that. But she did that to attempt to find Tariq and make it happen. So what did you think of the scene when they all converged on Ray Ray's pad?
I loved that scene. Like I was saying before, I thought.
Oh wait, hold on. One second. My bad. What about Tariq rolling up on Dre?
Tariq rolling up on Dre.
Before we get to that scene,
I feel like that scene almost could have been. I mean, I just feel like it was. Dre is not. I don't know how to take his character, because at one side I feel like he does care about Tariq, but at the other side it's like he's in it for himself, and I feel like he wanted to save Tariq in that moment. But when you find out that now he's got revenge, Tariq's like, yo, my sister's dead. Like, shit is real. And Tariq has got this gun, and I'm not taking him seriously, by the way. Like, it just doesn't, I don't feel like he should be holding a gun. He looks awkward. Let me just point that out for that.
Which is good, because he's a kid who has never seen a gun like that in his life until this season.
It should look like that.
Yeah, it should look very awkward.
You win. So that's what it looked like to me. But I felt like Dre spent a lot of time trying to save. But I'm like, Dre, just give him the goddamn address. Let him go find Ray. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, that scene wasn't really, I guess it wasn't necessary for me. I feel like it could have been left out for something else, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it wasn't that big of a deal.
I mean, that was the way that he was going to find out where Ray Ray was, because Dre had to meet Ray Ray, because Ray Ray is still extorting him for money to keep Tariq safe, and he doesn't know everything that happened.
Though?
Huh?
Why not ask your girl?
What your girl?
That's
who?
what I'm saying. Like, why not ask his girl? Tariq could have asked old girl. Like, does he not know that that's her cousin?
He doesn't. Because remember when Destiny gave Ray Ray her phone to call Tariq, and then they set that up. For all he knows is Ray, that was just a chick that they knew at the party. He didn't know that was Ray Ray's cousin.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why he wouldn't ask her where Ray Ray was, because, and the other thing was, he couldn't, for whatever reason, their communication was cut off also. So that's why he knew Dre is the one who by proxy introduced him to Kanan, which introduced him to all these other people. So if anybody was going to would know where he was, it would be Dre. That's why he came up to him and put that ultimatum, like, yo, I saved your ass when my dad was asking who brought me to the party. I could have snitched. I didn't snitch. If you don't tell me now, I'm letting everybody know, and I might shoot you. That's why Dre was like, all right, you know what? It's on you. He's here. Because I think Dre was going to go get Ray Ray himself. I think Dre was going to go take out Ray Ray himself because of all of the pressure and all of that. But he was just like, yo, you know what? Do you want to know? You want to know? Go ahead and do that. Yeah. So I that scene, I get it. I get it with that scene. But the whole, when everybody converged on the place, I thought it was cool in a sense with how everybody was getting there at the same time. I thought it was cool.
Seconds of each other.
Right. Oh. But the part where Ghost rolls up and sees Tariq going into the elevator and is trying to find a way to get in the crib. I didn't understand why. I guess Ghost and Tommy weren't together, so Tommy told Ghost, and then Ghost was like, yo, I'm out. Meet me there. I get the whole showing up at different staggering times. The Tasha one kind of threw me off because Angela's the GPS, the tracking that they did on the phone, it put him in the Heights, but it didn't say where. So she went to like a general location of where it was, and just so happened to be where the apartment was.
She saw Tommy's car.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was, because it's panned to her looking across the street and she saw the car. She looked at the car, and then as she looks around after she sees the car, she sees the window blasted. She gets out the car and then she goes in. She saw Tommy's car, and then she also saw her car, Ghost car.
She saw the shot too.
Yeah,
when she
she
made
saw it
that run,
all.
when she was looking
She was
around.
driving and she stops as she's looking at something.
Right.
She's looking at the cars because it pans in that direction. So that's what she sees, and then she looks around to see where could they be, and then she sees the glass broken.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got you. Yeah.
and then as she gets out the car, she hears the shot.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's what that was. I saw that because at first I was like, hold up. I actually rewound that scene, and that's when I saw it pan to the cars. She saw the cars.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, that whole scene where Tariq is flexing on him, and you see the hesitation, and Ray Ray's talking shit to him like, yo, you ain't gonna pull the trigger, you ain't gonna pull the trigger, and it actually happens. I don't think anybody thought when that shot went off that Tariq got hit,
No.
but it was surreal to see in that moment the whole family there, and they just immediately go into mode where
Clean up.
They're cleaning up. Tasha's talking to Tariq, and they're trying
Which
to clean
I
all
love
the evidence.
that scene. I love
Why'd
that.
you love it?
I love that because she's a mother, but at the same time she's a protector and she knows the game. That right there proved how much of a down ass bitch Tasha is. She's seen a lot. She knows what to do in that point. She tells him, "This is what you're gonna do. You're going to give me your clothes. You're going to scrub your nails like you've never scrubbed them before with the toothbrush that's in the bottom under the sink. Then you're going to go in. You're going to take a shower. You're going to scrub yourself the hardest you ever have. Do it 3 times." Like she knew exactly what to tell him because she's had these exact same conversations with Ghost. And as much as she tried to hide that lifestyle from her kids, she now knows Tariq is in it. You got to tell him what to do. You got to prep him because it's about to get real for him. He is now in the game. And I feel like that moment made me look at Tasha as, you know what? All the shit she's been through, it just proved to me even more so how stupid Ghost was because she just knows so much. And she's going to do anything she can to protect her family. And I saw it in that moment. She kind of phased out for a second and then she went into like protection mode and it was dope for me. I loved it. I loved that scene.
I like the shot when Tariq was in the bathroom and he looks over at his picture of him and his sister smiling. And that was the old Tariq. And you go from seeing the old Tariq to who he is now. And it's just a reminder that, yo, this kid really had a transformation from, good kind of spoiled kid who was naive to a kid who's looked beyond the veil and saw what his family really is. There's no more facade. There's no more double life. He's in it now. He's in it whether he wants to be or not. And I like the part where he was talking to Tasha. He was like, yo, Mom, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. And she's just like, I know. And it's really that acceptance of this is who we are and this is where we are. No matter what, they may have tried to shield their kids from that, but the minute, especially, with both of them, but, Tasha and with Ghost, the moment they were unwilling to really leave the game, they were complicit in their kids being exposed and eventually corrupted by the life. They have no one to blame for themselves.
But it also stems back. If you really want to take it to that level, it also stems back to Ghost deciding to step out on his family. When they were a united front, they were able to keep that thing going. They had a system, and as to where he was at night, we know he was doing nightclubs. We knew all of these things that they were doing and how they were protecting and shielding the kids. The moment Ghost decided to step out and bring them into the real world, which is what he did by allowing them to become familiar with Angela and bringing them to her place and, all this shit that's going on, that's when you decide to open your kids up to whatever it is that's going on in your world. When the parents lose their united front, your kids become susceptible to whatever it is the real world has to offer. And that's just the bottom line.
I agree 100%. And now we're in it's a true family business. They've gotten their revenge, and now going forward, the innocence is lost. So now, who knows how their family's really going to be repaired? Because they got the revenge on that end, but that takes us to the final scene where they roll up on Dre and see that he's with the Jimenez. And Dre, once again, talks his way out of losing the Jimenez by telling them that everybody's still on board, everything's a go. We still moving these drugs in the hotels. Like, it's all a go. And Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy in the car plotting on Dre, saying they can't hit him now, but we got something. So what did you think of that final scene with the actually the original crew back together at the end of the season?
The boys are back. I kept thinking about, remember the season of Entourage where the theme was the boys are back? Like, that's what I kept seeing. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this is the black version. So yeah, I really like that, just because it's about time that the three of them work together instead of working against each other, right? Like, we've seen Kanan going against Ghost. We've seen Tommy having to go against Ghost, and vice versa. I'm tired of that. I want to see what they can do together. I want to see, they were so powerful that they always talk about how they ran the streets and this and that back in the day. Now we're going to see just how capable they are, because Kanan was like, I got guys. Ghost was like, that's not enough. Trust me, we know these Jimenez. You're going to need an army. And so they have to build their own team to now go after this little punk who has slowly but surely taken down their entire organization. It's literally going to be 3 against 1. And I like that. I just like that we no longer are seeing, Kanan plot against Ghost. And I mean, that gets old after a while. So now we're going to see what they can do together. And that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, it was a cool moment, but for me, we got here too quick. And it just goes to an overall critique I have of the season. Mm-hmm. I don't know how credible the reports were about the 12 episodes versus 10 episodes, and the fact that they wanted to get more episodes, but they ended up getting 10, and that messed up their writing and then messed up their plans for how to pace the season. But to me, this was a 12-episode season written in 10 episodes.
I do agree with that.
I feel like there were certain elements, especially getting to this reconciliation between Ghost, Dre, and Ghost, Kanan, and Tommy. Getting to that point, I just felt like it was a fast forward to that point. And the payoff, I didn't feel the payoff. Like that emotional payoff that we get as viewers, where we've been through all of them through the season and through everything that they've been doing and everything that they've gone through. And we get that satisfaction in seeing them finally get back together, or them teaming up to go get Dre. It was just like, oh, it's going to be cool. It's lit. They teaming up like on a high level. But when I really think about it, as I said before, Kanan is the most forgiving gangster I've ever met in my life. I can understand Ghost and Tommy forgiving, but how could you really trust him? How could you really trust him?
I don't think you can, Jeff. I think that maybe you're right in the terms that they haven't given us everything we need to see. Do I think Kanan is 100% in with these motherfuckers? Absolutely not. I think he's going to turn on them as soon as he gets what he wants out of the deal, which is killing Dre. I don't think you're going to see them working together forever. I think they are coming together for this one purpose and cause, and that is to kill Dre. I don't think that Kanan is what he's making himself out to be. Like, oh, I forgive you. He is going to get Ghost back. Please believe it's still coming. I think we need a break from that right now. You know what I mean? We've seen it enough at this point. I think what they're going to give us is them working together for the common goal, and then it's going to go right back to them being enemies. I really do. I don't think that we're going to see them be BFFs forever. I don't.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but I would go on the other spectrum and say that we didn't see enough of it. For the last 3 or 4 seasons, we've seen their conflict, and the point where he saves Tariq, I get that, right? Like, I get that. He saved Tariq, they had the connection, and now he feels like, I got my money, Jukebox is dead, I'll see y'all on the other side, whatever. Basically, the only reason you're still alive is because of your son. So after all of that, you're telling me now the kids are the common denominator why we're all getting together. I think they could have written that better where you show more of getting to that point of, all right, maybe I do maybe I do forget about this so that we can get Dre. Because I can understand Dre tried to get Kanan killed. Dre's actions indirectly led to Raina's death. Dre took the organization from Tommy. So all three of these things, the common denominator is Dre. So they all want to go after him. I understand that. I'm just saying another couple of episodes to show us going in that direction, or at least to see them building that capital, that emotional capital to say, you know what, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's get it. Because even with that, I wouldn't have even had Kanan in the back seat. I would have been afraid he would have popped both of us in the back of the head.
Yeah, why is he in the back?
I wouldn't even had him in the back seat. You trusting him all of a sudden? Like everybody, I get it. There is bigger issues, and that's the code. It's bigger issues, but yeah, for me, I think it felt, and just this whole season, it just felt like a 12 episode season condensed into complete. 10. And it was just complete. We could fast forward certain parts, and I'm not mad at that, because that's another issue people have with Game of Thrones. And we mention Game of Thrones a lot because it's another show we watch. But I know a lot of people had issues with them speeding up in Game of Thrones. In that regard, I can understand to an extent, because there was only 13 episodes left in the entire series, and pacing has been erratic in both ways, where in that show stuff could either go quick or super slow. There was never really, like, once they hit their stride, they hit.
You can't win.
Yeah, right. But they hit that stride where they were.
People are gonna say it's moving too slow.
Right.
I'm bored. You know,
like I don't need to see a Raven travel for 5 episodes. Like I get it.
I don't need to see that.
You know, they may have traveled like Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't.
And email, but I don't need to see that. Like I can understand it or hear the characters talk about time more. Like I can get it in that regard. But here where we're getting to the point, like you think about when you see certain characters meet, like the first time we see certain characters meet in other shows, where when they get there, you're just like, yes, it's time. Like we finally, after all these seasons, we see it happen. I didn't feel that with this reconciliation. I didn't feel that. Like now they're the event. Now they're the fucking Suicide Squad or the Avengers or something like that. It just feels like out of nowhere.
It's gonna be
lit. You know what? If you turn off your mind, if you turn off your mind and turn off certain areas of logic, yeah, it could be lit. But it's just annoying to me that they got together and I didn't feel. Other than just an initial, oh, that's cool, it didn't hit me. And I think that's part of the pacing and how they wrote those characters into the position. Because they've all lost so much that for them to just from one phone call say, fuck it, we riding. You know what I'm saying? Like
I see what you're saying.
You know,
there could have been more build up there, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of empty holes that they haven't filled in with this season. So I 100% understand what you're saying. And we probably, honestly, maybe not even 2 episodes. We probably could have got it in one more. Like we just needed a little bit more. Like I said, the whole Raina death thing, everybody being at the house and they're all black. Like you said, it looked like the repast. Like it looked like everyone had already gone to the funeral and they were coming back for snacks and drinks afterwards. You know what like it just didn't feel right. So there's just a lot of things that I feel like they didn't do well with in the writing department. But at some point, I expect the directors to step in and be like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Like somebody has to stop and be like, we have to figure this out. And I'm hoping that next season they give us the build up we want with the Dre thing. That's the only thing that I think played the long game this season was Dre. Everyone thought that Dre was not going to make it out of this season. They thought he was going to be dead. And now we're going to see that. I think the main focus of next season is going to be taking Dre out. So that is also going to play the long game again. If they kill him in the first episode, then it's like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like you have to give us more. You got to show us how you're going to attack him from each front. Like, it's just a lot more that they have to do in the writing department to get us where we, as the viewers, to get us to understand what they're trying to give us. Because right now, I don't get it.
I agree. And we have some cliffhangers that's going to be addressed or should be addressed for next season. First off, how in the hell does Tasha get out of it? It was her gun. They found one of the shells at the crime scene, or the bullet in the wall, and she goes to Silver for help. You know, there's the ballistic evidence. You know, they got rid of the body, but you know they once it's your gun and it's registered to you, it's a matter of he said, she said. And you know, shout out to Silver for for dropping mad I love yous to a married woman and just like, yo, am I your lawyer or am I your boo? And she's just like, no, I need legal assistance. Like, all jokes aside, like I need a lawyer right now.
Poor guy. He was left in the friend zone like a mug.
He a sucker.
He thought he was getting something. He's not.
He a sucker. He a legit sucker. But it's just funny in that end where she kind of curves him in. She's like, I don't need a lawyer. You know, I don't need a boyfriend. I need a lawyer. So we'll see what happens with them figuring out Ray. Because, you know, Angela basically knows that Ray did it.
Yes.
She put her 2 and 2 together when she saw the files and she saw everything going down. She knows. So now that he's dead, she knows. So how she handles the case, because this is a dead cop. At the end of the day, nobody knows he was dirty. This is a dead cop. So how she handles that and how they go for the prosecution. Does Tasha end up in jail? Does Tasha end up on the stand? How they deal with that. That's one cliffhanger. Next is Councilman Tate. And you see, like, he's on some straight extortion tip. Because you think about having to plan a funeral for Raina and him wanting a pastor wanting kickbacks for hosting it at his church, which Ghost probably don't even go to. So now Tate is shown for Tate the appearance of being legit and making a difference will come at any cost. To me, he has some idea that Ghost is dirty. Either he knows it from the neighborhood or he just knows because he's dealt with these type of people before. So he's like, yo, this is the cost of going legit. You're going to pay off the people we need to pay off. You're going to throw the kickbacks where they need to go, and you're going to follow it my way or else. Just because he did that one favor, he's holding it over his head, like on some real politician tip. So how far he goes to try to put Ghost in his place and draw blood from a stone is what's going to be. That's going to be another important piece.
Councilman Tate, when we first started with him, I was like, okay, I don't know his game plan. Is he a good guy? Is anybody really ever a good guy on this show? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we've ever had a pure character, except for Raina, God bless her heart, on this show. I mean, you're using a man, the death of his daughter. You understand? Like, there is like something about a father and their daughter. It's just a special bond, right? And to see him just make it to be nothing. Like, it's just another thing in the news. It'll be front page today, gone tomorrow. It's just sickening. You know what I mean? Like, I was like cringing as he was speaking because he looked so upset and angry towards Ghost. And I'm like, this man just lost his daughter, you sick prick. So yeah, now I don't really like Tate as much. I don't really care for him. And if he goes, he goes. If he dies, he dies. I'm okay.
I hear that. Proctor is still out there with that evidence.
Oh yeah, we didn't even see Proctor.
We didn't see him, but he's out there. He still has that evidence. That laptop is still in the security box.
Oh, so, Jeff, you know what we did not discuss?
What?
Which we also did not discuss in our last podcast, old girl from season 1.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Thank you for reminding me. Thank you because I remember we got off and I was like, damn.
Yes.
That we definitely didn't talk about that. And a few people did hit us about that. But yeah, all the way from season 1, that first episode, the pilot, where she hears his voice and they kill her boyfriend because that was the whole stealing and getting to the setup. And she hears his voice again, and now Saxe wants to cut a deal. Because Saxe at this point, he wants a win. He wants a huge, huge win, and is going to whatever lengths to get it, and wants to get Ghost. So now he's going above Angela's head to try to get this woman to ID him. But I don't know how easy it's going to be with the voice and for everything that went down for her to pinpoint it, because I believe they were blindfolded.
She was blindfolded. All she heard was his voice. Now, whether or not there was more to it, maybe we're going to find out that because even the lady, the black lady, I can't remember her name, she told Saxe, it's going to be hard to get somebody with just a voice. And Saxe was like, just hear her out. So there has to be something.
There has to be something, what?
Like, did she grab a piece? There has to be more to the story that we're not privy to, because for him to say you have to listen to her, there's more than just a voice. Did she grab a piece of his outfit that we don't know about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember the pilot in full, but I think there's going to be more to the story that we're going to learn as time goes on. But the fact that they brought that girl back, I forgot about her.
Right.
Like, I remember pink sneakers before I remember her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember her. That's crazy. And so I don't know how that's going to affect Ghost in the coming season, but he's going to have some problems. There's going to be a lot of issues in the next season. Like, there's going to be fire blazing on all fronts, and they're going to have to put him out.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I'm hoping that they don't bring her back without some type of substance and for a reason why, But yeah. It's going to be real interesting to see where that fits.
Yeah, I don't want it to be another Cantos situation. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to bring her back, give us more to the story. Give us some meat that goes with it. And I think that there has to be. You don't just bring somebody back from the pilot for it to be nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I think that there's a lot more to the story that we're going to end up learning in the coming season. The question is, will Simon Stern take care of it? Will Angela take care of it? You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen? Where are we going to go from here?
Right. And Stern is still out there. Another loony. And shout out to Victor Garber. Victor Garber is getting checks everywhere. Like, everywhere. He's in everything. He's in everything. Like, it's crazy.
How many freaking different networks is he getting a check from right now? Like, it's crazy.
He does Power. He does the CW shows. I think he's currently he's Legends of Tomorrow, right? And he's on Flash, and he's on all of those. Then he was on an episode of that Orville show now on Fox, Seth MacFarlane's show. Orville. He's on that, and I swore I saw him on
Broadway too, like right now or something.
Well, he has that background, but he may be on Broadway now.
Golly, man, crazy. The man is he's busy. Listen, he stays working, and I'm not even mad at that. In Hollywood, you here today, gone tomorrow, but not Victor Garber, not on his watch. He getting checks.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. I ain't mad at that.
In so many different realms of acting too, right? Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, he's not playing a typecast character. Like, he's so many different people in each of these shows, and I think it's awesome.
Right. I mean, it's cool when you can do a one episode off that way. That way, you can move around and do stuff. So, but I swear I see this man everywhere. I'm like, yo, damn, can I hold $20? Like, what's up?
I know. Let us get something, please.
But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Will the Jimenez discover that Ghost killed Uriel? Will they also discover that Dre had something to do with Julio dying? Because they didn't really want that smoke to begin with, but they made it seem like otherwise. So. And
see, that's why I think you have to get the Jimenez to turn on Dre in some way. You have to.
Yeah, that could be a point. And Angela's team found one of the Jimenez's guns too, where they said it's like a calling card. It's the type of it's the type of gun that somebody's using over and over again. That gold gun. That was one of the Jimenez's guns. So what is that about? Let's see what else. Oh, shout out to anytime Ghost puts on the tech suit, he looks like it's like his version of Hoodie Mello.
Like,
when
what is that about?
whenever he's going to do illegal shit, he puts on the Nike Tech
that little
fleece,
bubble
and that
vest.
he's like hoodie. He's like, he turns into an assassin. He's like Hoodie Mellow. I'm not even mad at that. So shout out to him on that. Let's see what else. What other? Is there any other major questions that we said? We talked about the Connect. Like where do they fall into it? The DA office, how they're going to prosecute, and it's just going to be a war. Tommy is going to involve the Italians into it now.
He's got the mob in his
He's going to have the power of the mob, but does the mob really want to fuck with Tommy? Because let's keep it all the way real. I'm waiting for the episode where they're like, "Yo, we don't do business with niggas."
Ooh,
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that aspect. Like, yo, you got these random mooks coming into our spot, right. And you want to bring the heat, because I get it on their end too. They're like, yo, we don't deal with that. We have a lot of other shit to deal with. We're not trying to deal with no street war. Like, you serious? But he probably will have enough juice to invoke the mob on
He's a good
Jimenez.
talker too. He's a good salesman,
right?
So I guess that's the proper term.
So that's right.
His way out of death for 4 seasons now.
Right. Sell water to a well, boy. Sell water to a well.
You'll figure it out, I'm sure.
But yeah, because that's why I said this is season 5. Somebody asked me what my prediction for season 5 was going to be, and I told them it's all out war. It's war because you're going to have them going up against Kanan, Tommy, and Ghost going up against the Jimenez. Then you have the Serbs that are going to want their old territories back too, that Tommy basically is going to have to deal with. Then you have the mob that's going to come in, that's going to protect Tommy. So that's against the Serbs and against the Jimenez. Then you got the DA's office looming as always. There's nothing but war on the horizon, and it's all coming to a head, I think, in season 5.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what season 5 is going to be about. It's just going to be about staying alive. You know what I mean? Like, and we're going to see Tasha probably on trial or going through the motions of, having to face a murder rap because they forgot a freaking bullet in the wall. So, I don't know. You're just going to see a lot of different pieces moving around in season 5. It's just who will come out on top. Who's going to have the power at the end of season 5.
Okay. Cool. So I got some questions, a few roundups, overall questions that I recorded during the time. We took a little bit of time, so we're gonna go through it and see what other questions that I had that people have been asking us. So what in your opinion, what do you think was one of the best things and one of the worst things about this season?
One of the best things this season was probably seeing the evolution of Tasha, in a way. I mean, we've seen Tasha be so anti everything that, Jamie has been trying to do, to now we see her becoming like Jamie, wanting to get out of the game, wanting to do more, and wanting more for her life and for her kids' life. I think it was good for her to finally find somebody that she could lose it for in a second. And mind you, I don't agree with, stepping out in your marriage or whatever, but Ghost has done it so many times, whatever. So I'm not even mad at that aspect. I just want her to be happy. So I think that my favorite thing this season was seeing how she's able to still be a lady in the streets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she handles her business when it's time. The way she handled Tariq, the way she's handled Ghost, putting Tariq's clothes in the same burner that we saw her put Ghost's clothes in. I think that was 2 seasons ago, maybe season 2. Mm-hmm. Or was it season 1? Maybe, I don't know. But I liked her. The worst thing this season was probably losing Julio for me. Like I really liked Julio's character. I feel like he's somebody where we could have got more of a story from. They could have built his character more, especially knowing now what we know that he, was in the gang and Ghost had to buy his way out. I feel like they could have built up that character a little bit more. So to see him go this early kind of just took me out in a way. Just the deaths in general this season were bad. Raina. But yeah, that was probably the worst part for me. And the fact that they just didn't build the characters well. They just didn't.
Right.
The storyline.
Right. I would say one of the best things for me was the whole Ghost in Jail saga. Like, I just liked it because it was
Really?
something different, and just seeing him be in jail and being humbled for a
Now
sense.
that's different, Jeff. I didn't see you saying that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I liked it. I liked the Ghost, the whole free Ghost saga, the first four
See, I didn't
episodes.
like that, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was just something different. Like, that was something that I
Yeah.
liked about the season. The first couple of episodes, I liked that they didn't extend it longer than it needed to go. And I enjoyed it. And overall, Tommy is my favorite character, and
Yeah.
he's my favorite character on the show because
Yeah.
he just does so much, and he's so mercurial and conflicted and brooding, and he's real because he believes in everything that he's doing, and he has all these problems, but he just wants to win, and he just wants loyalty and just wants to win, and he'll go to whatever lengths to get it. So watching his
Yeah.
character progress, and I like the energy behind the whole Ghost in Jail saga. As I stated before, one of the things that I hated was I feel like this season was, they rushed a lot of things they didn't need to rush. I feel like it could have, if it had 12 episodes, we probably could have got a better season. But I think that we can't just have characters die and situations just happen. Like that season, the episode where Kanan finally rolls up on Ghost, that was probably one of my least favorite episodes of the season. I think that was episode 6. I want to say episode 6 or episode 7.
Yeah.
Yo, that was tough because
The jukebox episode.
that was, to me, that was a fuck it episode where the writers just said fuck it and just made shit happen. And there was no payoff for me. There was no payoff for me.
I agree.
I wish they would have used Anika Nani Rose's character a little bit more.
I agree with that too.
I wish they would have used Jukebox a little bit more, because I think you get these great actors on your show, use them. I get why, but use them and let them do a little bit more. I feel she was a good breath of fresh air, and I think they could have utilized her better. And then just overall, just like just tightening up certain stuff. Like, I don't need stuff to be super duper by the book realistic, but it just got to make a little bit more sense in for me. That would just make it a little bit more enjoyable. Let me see what else. Do you think Dre makes it out of season 5?
Damn, that's a good ass question. I think that if you're gonna have this buildup of Dre's character, where you spent all season showing us how amazing he can be behind the scenes, as far as in the drug game and in the business game, because you got to remember he also was running Truth while Ghost was in jail.
Right.
Very well, might I add. So I think if you got this big buildup of his character, I think he has to die. No, I think he has to have that penultimate episode where it's like, yo, your time is up. I don't think you can keep a guy like him unless you end up making him someone like the Jimenez, where he's elusive and you can't take him out. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like he's that kind of character. I think he has to die.
I think he goes, and he goes at the end of season 5. If he doesn't go, then he's got to he's either Harry Houdini, or he's similar to what you said. He's going to become bigger than what he is now. So I do think that I think he is going to go, but he's going to go late into the season. Like, it's got to be a payoff.
Full season, yeah.
He's going to survive and continue, because he's a survivor, and he's going to continue to do that until he can't anymore. So I think that's something that that he'll be able to withstand until the end of the season. So here's a good question for you. Mm-hmm. Do you think season 5 should be the last season of Power?
Yes.
Why?
My biggest problem.
Sorry, Chrissy, you cut off. Say that again. Hello.
My biggest problem with TV shows. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You can't hear me?
Yes, please continue.
Oh, yes. My biggest problem with TV shows is I feel like they go on too long, right? I feel like they stretch the episodes and they make it into a show that you no longer want to watch. And I've enjoyed Power for all of these seasons now, and I would hate to see them fall off. I feel like this has to be the end. If you're gonna lead up to this season being the war season where you have to battle it out on all fronts, which I think is where we're going. I think this has to be it. You can't keep testing the power of people and seeing, who's going to be it in the end, because then the storylines become redundant and it gets boring. So if this isn't the last season, then they've got to wrap it up in season 6. But I feel like you can wrap it up here. I feel like you can give us a solid 12 episodes, give us the meat of everything we need to see, wrap up these characters in a way that makes sense, and just end it. Don't make it out to be any longer than it needs to be. Just don't.
So, 50 has been on this campaign shitting on Stars, talking how he talks and everything like that. And then you saw on his Instagram recently, he wrote Stars on his forehead with a big ass smile, saying that they cut the check. They put more into him and more money into this show, and they showed him that they cared. So now he's all about it, which I feel like it was all WWE stuff anyway.
Of course.
It was all for promotion. But if you ask me, after I saw that episode, after I was just really reflecting on the season and the series, I came to the same conclusion. I think if they can get 12 episodes, do it like Breaking Bad, where they had a part 1 and a part 2 of the end of the season, and just break it into that. Make the final season 2 segmented parts. Because with all the war on the horizon, past this season, past season 5, I don't know where else they can really go with it. I don't know where else you could go with it unless you hold off certain aspects of that war for another season. I definitely think this is a 6-season series. At the most, this is a 6-season series. Because once you go past two seasons, with the way the show is progressing, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. And, for all its flaws, Power is not flawless. But for all its flaws, I've enjoyed the series overall. Yeah, I can clown on certain stuff that happens, but I enjoy watching it. I can call out its faults and still have just why this podcast exists, because I enjoy watching the show. But like you, I'd rather a show go out while it's ahead or while it's starting to look down than when it's already in the pit and it's fallen and it can't get up. So I do think it would be great if they got 12 episodes, especially if they're going to run uncontested next summer. Because, if Game of Thrones doesn't come back in 2018 and it's really not coming back until 2019, because you don't want, I don't think, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want my last season going up against that in any format.
No.
In any format, I wouldn't want that to happen. So I feel like 2018, you do 12 episodes, own the summer, break it up, maybe do half of it in one part of the summer and half in the second part, and go out with a bang. Eliminate all the characters, see who's left when the dust settles and the smoke is cleared, and just go out on top. Because I do think that they can bounce back. They can bounce back because, to me, all series have a down season. And to me, this was overall a down season. They could have done a lot more with what they had. So to me, this was a down season, and they can come back and make it strong in season 5. There's been other series. I know for those who watch Arrow, that was one that had a down season 4 and came back in season 5 and went back to its roots and really killed it this season. I was watching, one eye open, watching a couple of the original episodes from season 1, and it just felt stronger. It felt so strong. Like, I'm watching them and hearing the way Ghost is talking to Tommy and all the confidence. And, it's the evolution of characters, but it just felt like I felt it, man. And maybe it's nostalgia or whatever, but I don't know. It just felt different. Really just watching certain episodes and the way stuff was going down. It just felt different. They need to restore that feeling. So to me, I would be very content with them ending the season in season 5, at most 6 seasons. But if they could do a long 5th season and just go out, I'm good with that.
I could 100% agree with you.
All right, we got jump in real quick with some reviews. We got some reviews on the Power After Hours feed. Second to None by William H., one of the best podcasts dedicated to a specific show out there. Jeff and Chrissy are a great tandem. Keep up the good work. Good looking. 5-star reviews on iTunes, by the way. Dope podcast by The Real N1. The only thing I look forward to more than these recaps are the actual episodes. Very thought-provoking and very funny recaps. Thank you so much. Sock Passe. Sock Passe by E Dizzle 1982 Holla, who's probably Chrissy's cousin, but whatever.
Hey, it is not my cousin, honey. It is not, I swear. It's probably yours.
You're right, right. Love the show, y'all. Glad to see my brothers and sisters doing their thing. Great, concise synopsis of each episode. Let the hate for Tariq flow through you.
Yes, let it work through you.
Yes, Tariq hate, yes. But yeah, no, thank you so much, and continue to leave y'all reviews. We really, 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 really appreciate it. So yeah, overall for me this season, I think it was decent, but it could have been great. It could have been great if they just were more concise with certain things, wrote a lot of areas better, just in terms of that, evoking that sense of urgency and really caring about the characters dying. Because to me, one of the biggest tragedies on the show is Raina dying, and we just feel it because it's a kid. I don't feel it because it's a character. I felt it because it was a kid dying. And if you are gonna kill her off to incite an all-out war on the show, I need to feel that a little bit more. So just the examples like that where they could have done a lot better. Season 2 to me is still my favorite season of the show. Season 2 was just so ill to me. But this, overall, I think they missed a step with this season, and they really need to go back to the drawing board and make people care again, and just make it the quality, increase the quality overall, all around, from the people directing the actors, how to act, to the actors acting, to the writing. Like, everybody just needs to. This is like, you lose a game in the series and you got to come back in the next game, and make sure people know that was a blip, that wasn't a trend. So that to me is what I would say in terms of this season.
Completely agree with you, 100%, bro.
So anything else? Any bold predictions for season 5?
A bold prediction would be like Dre making it out of season 5. Like, that's like the boldest prediction you can get at this point. Like, if Dre lives, like, that is gonna be the ultimate bold. So I'm gonna go with Dre survives.
Dre survives. Let me see. My bold prediction would be, and this is contingent on whether or not this is the final season. Mm-hmm. My bold prediction would be that
Raina's alive.
No,
I'm just playing.
Right.
Yasmin speaks.
Well, she already spoke. Yasmin becomes a college professor. I think Tommy would be the only one that survives.
Oh, Jeff.
He would be the one that survives everything and has to pick up the pieces.
Jesus Christ, Jeff. That's like terrible.
Him and Tariq would be the ones that survive, and they have to go on from there. And everybody else is gone. So that would probably be my super bold prediction. It's morbid, but I mean, that's if it's the final season. If not, I think a major character may go, but I don't know who.
Look, I think Ghost would be a good one, but that's just me.
Right. I mean, if he goes, the series is over.
That's true. That is true.
So that's what I'm saying. But when it's this final season, all bets are off. And one other thing I wanted to emphasize my point on when to end a season. There's only certain shows out there that can keep going and keep going and keep going. And you're just like, yo, I don't know how they continue to find material for this. The best example I could have, if anybody watches Supernatural on the CW,
Oh my God, that show's never
this
gonna
show
die.
is about to be, I think, 13 seasons or
It's
14.
like 13. It's like never going to die.
Listen, I've been watching this show. There was a point where they literally go to war with heaven and hell, and that was 2 or 3 seasons ago. And they continue to find, like, and it's a little different when you're dealing with supernatural shit and lore, mythology, and all of that, where you can go into so many areas because mythology is spread and very dense throughout our world and different cultures and everything. But when I tell you this show just continues to find material, and it's not like they have like seasons where it's just, you know, like I said, there's up and down seasons, but it's not like, even for them, you're not like, yo, you're reaching. Like they put comedy, they put humor, they have so much material where every season they ended and you say to yourself, it could end here. We're good. I'm good with this.
And it comes back.
And it comes back for another season. It's if Days of Our Lives had vampires and demons, it would be Supernatural at this point.
It's lit, and they're never going to stop until those actors say they no longer want to do this show. They will forever keep going.
It has a super cult following too. Like
yeah, it does. It's
extreme
deep.
Cult following.
It's the one show on CW that like I know gets renewed every year without even thinking about it.
Right,
they don't even
right.
Think about
it's just like, yeah, Supernatural. Until these guys say we out, they not out. Like not going nowhere. But yeah, that's why I say there's an extreme. There's extreme exceptions, and that's one. But you just need to know when to go. 5 to 6 is always a good time to go. You tell your story, and you call it a day.
Yep.
So, what about you? What are your thoughts overall on the season?
I think the season was overall really good. I feel like we got what we wanted out of it. Do I feel like they could have built it up a little bit more? Obviously, yes. Like I said, they could have given us at least one more episode to give us more of development on characters other than Tommy. I feel like he's the only one, and Tommy and Dre, I feel like the only two that we got to see a lot from this season. And not even really Dre, if you think about it. He wasn't really in a lot of scenes, but when he was on the screen, he did really well. So I feel like they just need to figure out a way to just develop these characters better. But overall, this season was good. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's not on Empire level right now for me. You know what I mean? Like, where I don't want anything to do with it. It's terrible. It's trash. No, I'm still going to be excited when it comes back next season. I just feel like overall, they could have given us more.
I hear that. More. We want more. So
we want more.
I get that, but overall, you know, I've had a great time as always recording the podcast with you, and this has been awesome. It's been off the hook, and when they end, we'll end. So, but this has been
something else to bother you all with.
But it's been real, right? But it's been real cool, and I want to specifically thank everybody who listens. Like I see the numbers every week, and I see everybody who listens, and not even about downloads and everything, but just the fact that you all out there really interact with us and you really like the show. I love the fact that people were hitting me this week like, yo, where the hell is the podcast at? Like, I'm getting pressed in the street. Like, I gotta wear I gotta wear a mask. Now don't worry about it. It's all good. You know, Chrissy deals with what she deals with, so life happens. So we, you know, I'm not gonna cheat and go out with other people, especially now the Fido episode. Like that's
Bro, I was like, is Jeff gonna leave me?
I'm not gonna cheat. So, you know, it just be like whatever.
I was like, Jeff, if you leave me, I'll cry.
Right.
You know, we did wait a while to do this podcast, but y'all rock with us, and I appreciate that. We're giving you an extra long one this time so that you can, you know, you never know what you got till it's gone.
Right. Dude, yeah, man, this has been good, and we just like y'all, we're anticipating that the season 5 to come back. Hopefully they work out the kinks, but you know, we'll continue the conversation. Be sure to let us know what you think on social media at Nonstop Culture, email podcast at nonstopculture.com, or powerpodcast at nonstopculture.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at Jeff J Says. Chrissy, what's your Twitter?
Chrissy Bree.
Yep, or nonstopculture.com/subscribe for all your subscription needs to subscribe to everything that we got going on. What else? Leave us a 5-star review. Continue to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes so we can show you love on the show, and you let us know what you like. And that really does it. That puts a bow on another season of Power. Once we have the information and everything on season 5, we'll be sure to let you know, and we'll start this crazy thing up again on 2018.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Does that sound like a plan to you?
It's a plan.
You get your friends, I get my friends, we get be friends, pretend be friends.
You're so damn extra. You are so damn extra at all times of the day and night. My God.
If it wasn't extra, it wouldn't be me. That is my mission statement. That is my mission statement. Listen, you will not poo-poo on my affirmations, okay?
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Relax. Do not denounce me. Pronounce me, all right? Relax.
You got it.
All right, guys, so that does it again for another season of Power After Hours. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
Peace.